My name is Derry. Diarmid, technically. I'm named after a very weird and obscure Irish hero. My mother was Irish. Grew up in Winnipeg. Father was a doctor. I was kind of slated to be a doctor in a sense on my father's side. I guess technically I was supposed to be a writer, but I find art, as Jan says, art says things that you can't say in words, and I hear a lot of words in the course of my day job. When I'm doing this, I'm already thinking of what it's going to be. I pretty much know now what the picture's going to be. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but definitely there's the picture. That is either one or two figures. I don't know if you can see it. The feeling of it is... I painted when I was a kid. Painted from age 6 to, the end of high school. Then I stopped. I began painting now, I guess in the last 4 or 5 years. I started with, it was interesting, I started with Jan with art restoration. I collect, or over the years I've collected many things, silver, clocks, porcelain, but I collected a lot of artworks, many of which were distressed and required restoration. So Jan Branswich was restoring things. He does that part-time, and after a while he said to me, and this is 10 years ago, he said to me, I'm getting old. I better teach you how to do this because I won't be around forever. So, he taught me how to do the basics of art restoration, and then that progressed to drawing and painting. There's an old Zen adage that when the student is ready, the master appears, and vice versa. The master appeared. Jan has been teaching art for 50 years. He's a great artist himself, and I think an even better teacher. So we progressed from, the very basic stuff. He's trained in the academic school like 60, 70 years ago in Poland. So, so I had to do a year of drawing, which I shortened to 6 months. We did the art restoration. At one point, he wanted me to mix up pigments, mix my own paints, which it turned out he was kidding, but I still have a collection of raw pigments at home. And so we progressed through it. It's a dynamic relationship. And I think Jan said it best when I was, trying to describe a picture. He said to me, if you can say it in words, you should be a writer. Art says, visual art, painting being the medium that I'm in right now, and visual art says things that are not easily said in words, and then can be quite profound. A lot of people have very profound moments in their life in front of bits of art, and that's the purpose of art. Art is a different way of seeing the world. It allows you to develop, and if an artist is good or even better than that, it allows you to see into the mind of the artist and how the artist is seeing the world. If you see something that's good, you should be able to appreciate its goodness. Connoisseurship, it's a term that's really fallen out of favor, fairly so, because it became hackneyed, but I think it's real. There's a real phenomenon there. So, the works that I emulate, that I incorporate into my works, are the works from the past that are good and that I like. It changes from time to time. Jan pushes me to portrait work because he thinks it's more profound. I paint lots of different things. If I'm painting a landscape, I'm thinking more of Constable and Turner and of course Van Gogh. And the French Impressionists. I like, the way that they handled light and paint and color. I mix paint without thinking now. I mix a color, it comes out a certain way, that's the way I want it. I don't have to think what I'm mixing together until afterwards. I want a certain green, I mix it, and it's done almost instantaneously. So I paint oil on paper. It combines the immediacy of watercolor with the rapid absorption into the paper. You have very little time to correct. You can do some overpainting, but you better do it right now. So you have to make decisions very quickly. So the portraits go there. It's a 4 or 5 stage process depending on how well it comes out. So there's a kind of a sketch. So, the sketch is sort of in my head, so there's an automatic process that creates a sketch, an underpainting of sorts. and then an underpainting of washes. And then after that, anywhere from 1 to 3 goes at it with pigment painted in anything from washes to color, dense color fields to create what I'm creating. Portraits are paintings of people, painting of their souls. I mean, if you get it right, painting of the essence of who they are. We live in a very difficult bit of history right now. I mean, a lot of things are changing. The pandemic hasn't been helpful. In my day job, I see a lot of people who are in a lot of distress. My job is to try and help them insofar as I am able. But, we live in a period of time which is very hard on people. So, the souls that I see and paint are lost. I mean, we are in a period of time where the way has been lost for many people. We have some fabulously wealthy people, we have a lot of very poor people, and we have an enormous stress in our society because of the discontinuity between that. So many of the pictures are people under stress, people who are refugees, people who are dispossessed in various ways. So I find them. Jan hates putting titles on pictures, so he always makes up joke titles for the pictures as I paint them, and I make up a few too. I'll probably leave them untitled. The more I paint, the more I want the viewer to make their own judgments. I mean, the only thing that matters is that it connects with the viewer, and the viewer gets something from it. And that's all that matters. And that's all I got to say about that.
I think that's great.
Thank you.